Hello, everyone. Thank you all so very much for joining us again. Today, we're talking about Interview with the Vampire, Season 2, Episode 7. I could not prevent it. At least that is what Armand says. I don't know if I believe it, but so far we have been treated, yo. I don't know. This is like a slow moving roller coaster, and it's like every episode gets better and better and better and better. Last week we said, "Oh, this episode was the best." The week before that, this episode was the best. I don't know. To me, Lord, they could have ended it right there. But let's get your thoughts. Let's start with Corey. What were your thoughts about this particular episode?
So my first thought was, oh, I don't want this episode to end. Right. I just wanted to continue it. I wanted to continue to the finale because it just left me just wanting so much more from the story. And I hate when we get to this part of the season of shows that I really love is that it's coming to an end, but you just wish there was about 2, 3 more episodes. My favorite part of this whole story that we saw up to this point in episode 7 was, I guess, the realization that we've been told two different sides of the same story. And the question that we're going to have now after this is, who is really telling the truth? I'm one to believe that the truth is kind of somewhere in the middle. I'm not going to totally bash Louis, although I've been on his ass the entire time we've been on the show. I'm not going to totally bash Louis because of grief, etc., and its effects, and the fuckery that is Armand and games that he's been playing with him. However, the admission of Louis that some of what Lestat was saying is the truth was really the top point of the episode for me, and of course, Claudia.
Okay. You're eating, so I'm gonna go to Elia. Elia.
First of all, this is a welcome back Lestat party. So happy I could be at the top of the guest list. Welcome back. So I, much like Corey, did not want this to end. The minute that I saw him sashaying up those stairs to go and grandstand like a motherfucker, I was like, yes, yes.
There's our French wide.
My French wide is back, and now life can continue. So I absolutely love this episode because Lestat got his moments, and it did not disappoint. It gave me sarcasm. It gave me theater. It gave me, in essence, just letting him tell his story, even though it was embellished. I was like, oh my goodness. It gave me soliloquy. All of the things. It's like, it gave me, hey, a little LGBTQ plus, don't play with me. I will come up there. I will come up there. So it just gave me so many things. I'm so excited. You can hear it all in my voice. Like, I can just go on and on and on. So welcome back, Lestat de Leon Core. We welcome you. This was your episode.
Do you think it was kind of like a slow edge? I've been feeling like this whole season has been they've been edging us and edging us and edging us and edging us and
Just
edging
put
us.
the tip in, you know?
And we ain't even got to the.
He's like, just put the tip in over the episode.
Just do it already. Just do it already.
Just do it. Stop teasing me with that thought.
I just found out edging was a thing, and I don't know the terminology. Anyway, I'm learning.
I'm using context clues. Never heard of it before in my life.
We'll talk later.
Okay. Merriman, what are your thoughts about this particular episode?
Edging now. But I'm trying to focus. So what I really loved about the episode, for one thing, he's back. Lestat is back, and he's on bullshit. And I love that lying ass motherfucker right there, boy. I love that lying ass motherfucker right now. He came in there and fucked shit up, just like he's supposed to. That's one. Two, I was compelled to love Claudia even more than I already did.
Yes.
If you gonna go out like a G. Okay. And like lastly, I wanted to slap the shit bat the piss, whatever they say, at a Louis ass with his lying ass.
Okay.
Don't know nothing ass. Can't remember shit ass. He
Okay.
got out here ass. And wonder why he getting handled by my boy Armand. You know what I'm saying? Talking about somebody did you something. How you know? You don't remember shit.
So Louis is bipolar, schizophrenic, and got multiple personalities. He a twink, and then he a top, and then he's all kind of
He
things.
is everything.
He a victim,
Call back to when he told Armand that how he wanted him in the coffin, and he meant that when he said it with bass in his voice.
You know what I'm saying? Thank
All
you.
I'm saying is you don't know what the hell going on. So why you up here lying on Armand? You don't know. Telling a story you can't even remember. That's my 2 cents on how I feel about the episode. But I'm so happy. So happy.
Okay, using the terminology.
Yeah. You know that French wine is bad.
Okay, Vodka, thank you for joining
Louis
us.
is a switch.
Don't be drinking those
and
Louis lies,
emotionally,
vodka, talking about he
Vodka.
versatile. He crazy.
Actually,
And emotionally, he's a switch.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All right, y'all. So the episode begins with the abduction of Louis, Claudia, and Madeline. Louis sees Claudia has been dropped in the rat tank while Madeline's mind is being whatever is happening to her, not quite certain. Louis is desperate to get to Claudia, but he couldn't. Excuse me. Louis describes the fact that he was going in and out of consciousness during the trial. Daniel highlights that they are now characters in the play, but Louis corrects that they are props because their every attempt to speak, the coven would use their powers to torture them until they stopped. As evidence, Santiago presents Claudia's diaries, so there is no need for her to speak. The evidence is firmly against the trio. He begins reading an entry where Claudia writes, "I shall be your angel of death, Lestat. Not much time left, Lestat. Tick tock, tick tock." Then Santiago passes the diary around for the audience to read. Angered by this, Louis surges towards Santiago, but his ankles had been slashed to the bone. All three of theirs had been. Louis could feel a presence in the theater moving closer to him. Louis knew Lestat was about to enter stage left. First question. Let's stop here. First, can we deconstruct Lestat's appearance? I want to talk about that because I think that was noteworthy and quite different from what we've seen all season. What's going on right here with his appearance? Let's go with Elia.
Honestly, for me, he still looks really polished.
Posh.
Say it again, Verifman.
Posh.
Posh.
Mm-hmm.
Better word. To me, he's dressed to the nine. He is in Paris and he came to make a scene. I'm loving it. He is grandstanding. He is ready.
Okay. Corey?
I think from just looking at him from appearance wise, he's looking like he's come ready to litigate, right? He looks like he's been rehearsed or he's been coached, or that he's just a man that's out to seek revenge, right? But also somebody that's hurt. He was weepy basically throughout the whole, throughout the whole trial. He was on the verge of tears. How much of that was he was playing? How much of that was real? We don't know.
Berriman.
I was
That's a bloody waste.
I was agreeing. Ain't it snatched?
Okay.
That man chisel.
Okay.
But the way he's looking to me outside of Scrumpdilly is Scrumpdilliumptious. That's what I meant to say. Outside of that, I think I agree with Corey. He looks like he's ready to go to war in the court and lie his ass off. Just like a good old attorney's supposed to.
So I really love what Onyx Crown just said. He said basically in season 1, according to Louis' point of view, Lestat looked a bit more crazed or feral. Now, according to what he looks like today, when we can actually, well, not actually see him, but you know what I'm talking about. He looks completely different. He looks up to date. He looks stylish. He looks, he could wear that today in 2024 and still look good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference between what we saw in season 1, even in season 2, all up until now. All right, so books, gers, and purrs. Okay, I hope Lestat Sam gets to say a line similar to the books. Likes getting called slutty. Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Yes. 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 All right. So let's move. All right. So prior to Lestat's entrance, what is Claudia thinking or her state of mind? Right? Because she kind of sort of knew that something or someone was coming. Definitely Louis knew. But what was Claudia's state of mind prior to Lestat actually entering the stage? Let's go to who loves Claudia. I think yeah loves Claudia the most. I think so. What was Claudia's state of mind? What was she thinking?
We all love Claudia. I'm thinking Claudia is thinking like, dang, I finally got my person, and here we go. I feel betrayed. I thought I found my family in the theater and a partner, and now here we go. I've been betrayed by yet another person. Why can't I just have my moment without it all going to hell? So I really, really empathize with Claudia, and it's like, dang. On top of that, I have so much to say. She's still being super, super strong, even though they have slit her feet and keep messing with her mind. She gonna keep going and keep going. So, I mean, the absolute tenacity of her character is like you want to root for Claudia, and ultimately we know how this ends. But it's like, dang, in her head, it's like, come on. Can I just win one time? Like, don't I just get to say I'm sorry and just go on and be okay? Nah, it got to be the most effed up situation for me.
Okay. Similarly, what was Louis' state of mind prior to Lestat walking on the stage? Let's go with Corey.
I think Louis was kind of just in a state of, he was also angry, but he was also afraid, but yet he was excited, right? He was excited to see Lestat, but he was also afraid, right? In a way, because he knew what had happened, but still a part of him, even though he know what he had done, he still longed for that French white, right? He still longed for him. And we see that even up in the modern telling of the show, where they're at modern times, whether he and Armand are together, no matter what has transpired between he and Lestat, there's still that longing for him. And no matter what Armand does, he won't be able, he won't be able to cross that. So I think that's just, again, that's that point that he's showing, that longing for him, right? The fear and all other kind of stuff was there, but he was still excited to see him.
Okay, so Bear of Men, let's dive into the head of Armand. So we know I'm watching this particular episode that Armand was a pseudo prisoner, if you will. What was his state of mind? What was he thinking in and around that particular point in time?
When he saw them up there on stage and he was in the box?
Yeah, before Lestat walked up.
Honestly, I was mad at Armand for what he did. No, I love me some Armand. Let's be clear. That's fuck ass shit he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't what was up at all. And I was so disappointed. But just watching him in pain, to see his love on stage, toe the hell up, and then get persecuted and know you have something to do with it, and ain't nothing you can do. You can't rewind time and undo it. It's just, I felt bad for him because I don't know if anybody else has ever made a bad decision and have to watch it play out, but I have, and you don't feel good about it. You know what I mean? You feel like absolute crap, especially if you can be the type of person that, like, hey, I'm not perfect. I might fail you. You know what I'm saying? Like, in his thing, he's a vampire, not a human. But the saying is like, I'm human. I'm gonna fail you. But just seeing him have to like live it, see it through. Oh, my heart broke for him.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask all three of you this. Try to make it as short as possible. What was Lestat's frame of mind before he walked up the stairs? What was Lestat's state of mind? Let's go with Corey first.
I think he was about getting justice, right? I think he was about getting revenge right? Until he walked in and he saw Louis.
Mm, okay, Elia.
I'm back and I'm about to have my moment. And you're gonna
Oh,
love it. And back and then you said keep it short, but Lestat loves to grandstand. He loves the stage, and so his background is theater. So not only am I gonna have my moment, but it's in a situation in that I love. I'm in the theater. I am the theater.
Bear of Men.
I think that he was ready to grandstand, obviously. Spin it a little bit because, like, you have your perspective, I have mine. This is how I get to see things. You don't tell me how I get to see things. But on some real stuff, Louis must be laying that thing down, baby. Because him and Armand cannot see it through when they see him. Okay. All right. Yeah, dang, he must be laying it down. Because when they see him, they are like, I mean, when she said when Elia said when he was seen by Lestat, you could tell he changed his mind a little bit, or maybe not at first, but like halfway through it.
Mm-hmm.
Chat. I was like, he is pretty. I ain't gonna lie, he cute. He must be doing that thing though, because he like all senses of sticking it to him. You know what I'm saying? And so I think at first he's ready to destroy everybody on stage, but then he's disarmed.
Real quick. So Elia Vika says they had Armand stuck prisoner behind a baby gate, while Vampire Sam was guarding him with a scythe from the props department. This covenant is so unserious. What are your thoughts?
100%.
I agree.
Armand, you wanted to see this play out. You ain't stuck for real. You're not stuck. You playing games. You want to put your lover in front of his ex-lover, read the room, and decide whether or not you're going to save his punk ass. That's what you're doing.
So Corey Books, Gur, and Purr says, I think Sam.
Elia.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, why it can't be both, Elia? I don't think that he ain't got a little vengefulness in him.
Oh, it's very clear he got it.
So Corey Books, Gurs, and Purrs says that I think Sam being next to Armand during the trials is a hallucination Armand placed there. What are your thoughts about that?
I think it tracks, right? We know that Armand will say anything to make him not seem like he's the bad guy, right?
Yeah, y'all said his power. I'm just saying, just say how about his je ne sais quoi. Just say you don't know how to do what you know what I'm saying? You don't know how to take him. That's all I'm saying. Armand, that guy. Don't do that.
So Bear of Men, Onyx Crown says, I love that he never let Santiago have his moment. Let the children know who the real thespian is. What are your thoughts about that?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Because I went first. I was tickled.
Yeah, you.
I was tickled pink. Because what you gonna do, Santiago? That was Greeny.
So Onyx Crown says, what's a Renaissance era vampire to the formidable vampire Sam? Funny.
What's a goon to a goblin? Nothing.
Corey Books, Gurs, and Purrs says, and I bet Armand is lying. He knew about the script. What are your thoughts?
I think Armand knew the play. I think he knew because he had to have known because he was in on it from the beginning. He's the whole reason why they're sitting there. So he probably wanted to know what's going to happen, right? If I do this, what's going to happen? What's in it for me? How, he wanted to know the ins and outs, right? Before he would agree to it.
But wasn't it a different play they was rehearsing in front of Armand?
Yes. So Sam was working overtime. In addition to picking up condoms, he was writing two plays at the same time. All right, Sam was working. Next, y'all, we got a few comments. All right, so we'll go to Elia. Onyx Crown says, do any of you think Louis was still repeating things Armand hypnotized him to say because that he was a victim too? Sad emoji. Comment made me side-eyeing. He was giving hypnode voice to me. What are your thoughts?
I don't doubt it because Armand's reach is quite far. He has done quite a bit to mindfuck Louis, but at the same time, Louis, I don't know.
Louis a
Some of that's
schizophrenic.
just Louis.
Probably what it is.
Some of that's just Louis.
I agree. Some of that is just Louis.
All because the D good don't mean he ain't crazy.
Louis
I'm,
needs
a,
to be the big
I'm gonna be honest with you, Onyx Crown. I didn't really tell them this, but my heart broke for Louis when he said that. Cause
Of course
dude,
your heart did.
after all these centuries of saying that, you know, Lestat was the worst person ever, all of a sudden you come back and you say, nah, it probably happened the way that he said it. It makes you look weak. It makes you look like, why are we even here?
Right.
Why are we even here? Can I believe anything that you're telling me right now?
Right.
Can I? All right. So let's go to Bear of Men. So Books, Girls, and Purse says, because later on we see Sam in a different outfit putting Louis in a coffin. I'm certain that relates to something, but I've already forgotten. So I'm sorry about that. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that. He also says, unless I might be confusing the vamps.
I don't know if it's that intentional. Books, Girls, and Purrs. Love your name.
I don't think
it's intentional. I do think that that piece of the story is cut and dry. But I do think that Sam was there when he put him in the box, but I don't think it's that in depth. I don't think that.
For some reason. It was a good observation. So I want to go back to Corey on this one. So Antonio Silva, I'm not gonna mispronounce that, says that the Vampire Sam just got confirmed to be returning next season for some reason. He's gonna survive Louis' massacre. Maybe he is more powerful than we know. What are your thoughts about that?
So maybe Sam is another character that is they do switch the books and the stories and they change things around a little bit. So I could possibly see that perhaps Sam could be another character or a combination of a couple characters and may mean something a little bit more in the story. So that's very possible. Because there are a lot of vampires that are a part of the Chronicles that we haven't even touched yet. And so if they're going to continue the show, then they're going to probably have to start introducing some of those people, at some point in time.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's continue. So Santiago requires Lestat to swear on Claudia's diary written in his own blood just then, and an overhead projection shows what Claudia wrote. Put me in a coffin, Louis. This is Lestat screaming to Louis. Do you all remember in a previous episode, Santiago and Armand were arguing over the use of a projector? I thought it was odd that it would be used here, especially since Armand is uninvolved. What are your thoughts about that? It's a small thing, very, very, very small thing, but what are your thoughts about the use of the projector in this episode when in a previous episode Santiago didn't like the idea of a projector being used?
So Santiago is willing to do anything, get any prop, anything that he can get to show that these individuals align, right? They're not who they say they are, because it's a leg up on Armand. He wants to be the big bad. He wants to control the coven. So any means that he can do to do that, to get that point across, he's all about it. It don't matter, right? It don't matter. Yet he said, I don't like, but you know what? This is going to give me this.
So Antonio also says, like, maybe Armand really could not prevent it. Like, do we think that he couldn't prevent what was happening?
I found it hard to believe, I'm not gonna lie, but a part of me is like, well, there must be more to this and more is gonna come out. All because Armand was the coven leader doesn't mean he was the most powerful vampire in the coven.
That is true. Unlikely, but that is true.
But collectively, you see the power of the coven as well when they're able to focus on the three of them prisoners, how they were able to distract them and confuse them and things like that. So he may be the most powerful, but if you have a whole coven against you, I mean,
all working.
Right.
All right. So Vodka says, it's a lot of comments, y'all. If Sam's coming back, that's how you definitely know season 3 will be about Lestat and his past, especially with the coven. What are your thoughts about that, Elia?
First of all, I'm just glad season 3 is coming. I have something to live for. And anything that's about Lestat, sign me up. And I know that's a surface level question, but I'm gonna just leave that right there.
All right, so Naya is back. Thank you, Naya. She says, Armand being held back by the rat keeper was too much. LOL. Be for real. What are your thoughts about that? She's talking about Sam. With the scythe.
I just think that he was resigned to the fact that there was nothing that he could do. But if he really wanted to do something, being that he is powerful, I think he could have done something. Right.
I think he took a calculated risk.
Right. He wanted to see how it was going to play out. Was he going to survive? Right. He wanted to ensure his own survival. He loved Louis. He would try to do anything for Louis that he could, but he also kind of wanted to take the safe route. Right. And we saw that in the movie too. The Armand character rescued Louis after everything was over with, and he broke him out of the coffin, and they escaped that way. Right. So similar situation. He was trying to make his escape as well, but he wasn't going to do anything that was going to risk his own life. He just wasn't.
And I don't think that's selfish.
I'm sorry.
He's been alive a long time.
Right.
And he didn't want Claudia in the first place, let alone Claudia's mate, Madeline, to be made. So why would I risk it all for them?
So Naya says Santiago needs to be arrested for those drawings. That mess was terrible. What are your thoughts about those drawings that they used?
I loved it. I did too. It was so dramatic and comical.
I like the style of art. I mean, it wasn't like the best, but I think it was supposed to be a particular art style. I liked it. I thought it was okay.
I loved it.
I did too.
Vodka also says that the drawings had them dying. Naya also says, so Armand, who put the whole coven to sleep in like half a second, couldn't fight them all because they would kill him. So his only choice was to backstab them. Armand just be lying.
She be on. You got to put off Armand's neck. I love it.
Put your foot on his neck.
It's pretty, Nick, but keep your foot on it, please.
I'm gonna steal a line from Game of Thrones. You know nothing, Naya.
She says Sam is only going to come back in a flashback. Interesting. Rockstar Lestat's confirmed. Oh, good. I'm so glad. That means they're going to the next book. Thank you, Onyx Crown. Thank you very much.
I'm glad because I really don't want to dwell in the past of the story. I think we've gotten all that we're going to get out of the Paris piece.
Well, he's going to touch up on that though. Rockstar Lestat, he touches on all of that. All right. So Naya says Armand is not in the wrong, though he did warn Louis multiple times and Claudia. They just wouldn't listen. I would have sat back quietly as well. Now, I just think. What'd you say?
I said, why he getting involved? He violation of vampire law too? Nuh-uh.
But Claudia made a point though in the trial where she said they were not taught anything about the laws. So there is no level. They're vampires. They have since lost that aspect of compassion or their humanity. So they no longer see things in that way. But these two are newer vampires. And so they still have, some semblance of who they were. I mean, they didn't know anything about it. Right. So.
Correct. But clearly in one of those flashbacks, I'm sorry, what'd you say, babe?
I was about to say another thing that was odd about the whole situation. Well, not odd, but I liked about the situation where she stood up for herself and was like, hey, look, mentioned it. Corey, you just mentioned it. You said they were taught nothing about the vampire laws. You mentioned it. Why doesn't Claudia get a chance to apologize and it's over? Right?
They didn't care. They
didn't care.
And
they were going to kill him regardless.
Lestat wasn't even dead, so why they gotta be executed?
She said it. She was like, "He's right in here. We poisoned him. He's alive."
So why am I sitting here right now? He's alive. They're killing me because they want to kill me.
Right.
All right, clearly, y'all, it's a lot of comments. I don't know if we're gonna get to the show in the way that we normally do, but let's go with these comments. Naya says Santiago and was a lot black accent. Maybe I misread that. At first, I thought it was funny until I realized there was some racial tension behind it. I think
Yeah.
she's talking about the accent of those characters. What you got, Corey?
I agree. I think that it was a point of him to ridicule them and to call them quote unquote trash. I think that's what he was trying to insinuate by utilizing the black scent, and just a kind of play on modern um, racist tropes and stereotypes. You see a lot of people will put on an accent or whatever when they're trying to downplay something as being ignorant or whatever, right? I think it's saying similar vein of thought is that he was doing the same thing to kind of say that they were uncouth, uneducated, et cetera, et cetera.
I think he was also trying to point out. Remember, he had his tongue pulled out. Santiago had his tongue pulled out. His point also is he's not from Chicago. He's from New Orleans. Like I said,
Right. Right.
So, Antonio, maybe you're an attorney, not quite certain. They weren't Mirandized. Gotcha. That was funny to me when I read it. Books, Gers, and Purrs says, responding to Naya, Armand tells Louis in his apartment that he's having to deal with all of the slights. So I don't think it was just the coven that was offended. I think Armand was as well. What are your thoughts about that? Let's go to Corey, maybe.
I agree because Armand is still a person of color in this story. And so there is a direct correlation between his story and this slights that he felt as a person of color in Paris at that time. So I think that there could have been more to that point. They just really didn't bring it out in the story, but there could have been.
Are they talking about the slights from Louis though toward the coven? Maybe
No, I think they're talking about the slights that the coven has made towards Louis and or his ethnicity, etc. I think that's what they're saying.
I didn't catch that.
So do y'all remember when Armand and Louis were in the apartment and they were half naked, and Armand said that Louis has slighted the coven by not joining the coven, by being around humans and all that other good stuff. I think that's the slight that they're talking about. So Naya says Louis knew about the law, he just didn't care. That's why he made Claudia. Then he did the same thing with Armand when he warned him about Madeline. I think this is how I took it. Like, because I was with you. Naya, I am with you. But I think he was just so into I want Claudia made that Lestat was just talking. And if Lestat wasn't saying I'll make her, he wasn't thinking about what Lestat was saying unless I'll make her. Does that make sense? Like when you're arguing, you just want to hear that other person say what you want them to say. Right. And so you're not listening to her. I'm sorry?
He was so hurt he killed her. Or almost killed her. You talking about anything but saying yes, what? It just kind of shows how he's a spoiled brat in relationships. He was throwing a damn tantrum.
I'm not going to disagree with that because in that particular part, Lestat's take on Claudia being made and that whole argument and their whole relationship was very interesting. Like I really and truly was kind of surprised at that take, and I do not necessarily agree. I don't feel that it was all just Lestat grandstanding. I think there's a grain of truth in that. However, I don't think that he could have just been tossing Lestat around. I think that's the part where it's a little bit of fabrication, but that doesn't mean he was not abusive, quote unquote, in his own right in some aspects of it.
All right, I'm going to show everyone's comments. Sometimes I'm thinking I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I don't really know what everyone is responding to. Does anyone know what Books, Gers, and Purrs was responding to? Not quite certain. All right, so let's go to Antonio. They did kill Antoinette, though. Yes, they did.
They did. I hated it. I was ready for it to go. I was ready for it, and I was excited about it.
Why, Corey? Tell us why.
That bitch.
But why?
I hated her character. I really did. I hated her character.
She wasn't even a vampire long enough for them to even care. about
Right,
vampire.
right. She was just
Yeah, but
she
isn't
was
that
just a
matching
piece.
in this
She
situation?
was a piece for him to irritate Louis with, and that was the whole point of her being there in the
And
story.
wet his meat whenever he wanted to.
Right, basically. And so
He always
she
thought he liked
and she had to have known that, right?
pregnant women.
All right. So Honest Crown says Santiago didn't like them from the start for making them wait, for make themselves known. I still remember that dagger stare he made at them when they were first introduced. Oh yeah, your thoughts?
Santiago is a cunt. He
Yep.
really is. I don't like the way he played Claudia and played all up in her face and then displayed her diaries and stuff. But he been tight since they got there. I agree. But he just doubled down on him being a bitch. I swear.
I promise.
There's one
Cool.
thing I wish they would have did though. I wish they would have kind of went into explanation as to why Santiago was like this. I know his whole story with his maker, right? And maybe that's the whole
What was the story?
justification they're going to give, but I kind of feel like there should have been,
His
Then
his
Armand kill his maker.
Yeah.
Santiago's maker was very strong.
Yeah.
Was very strong. And he made Santiago. I don't know why he made him, but he made him. But the thought, at least from Santiago's mind, was that he, in his own rights, is very powerful. And so what? If we get rid of Armand, he could become the coven leader. He's powerful enough to lead the coven. And like you're a star, right? If you were a star on stage, then in your mind you're always the star.
Yeah,
You can't be second fiddle.
he's crazy.
All right, so Naya, I'm gonna go to Bearer of Men because you and Naya, y'all seem to two bodies, one soul. Armand was absolutely slighted, and he felt disrespected when Louis even suggested that he bite Madeline. Your thoughts?
Who me?
As if.
Right, I
As
agree.
if.
I don't eat trash.
That's my little crew. Be down bad in one situation, a whole nother situation want to be square.
You know what? Okay, so I'm going to Pamela Boyley. I am so glad that she mentioned this. I was going to mention it in my notes, but I'm so glad that she mentioned it. And I want to go to Corey on this. I really do. So she says Lestat knew the laws but rejected them, and Armand, and made his own coven with Louis and Claudia and warned them that the vampires out there are vicious. Tried to keep them away from Paris. What are your thoughts about that?
You know what? Honestly, I can kind of agree with this because that's kind of true. He rejected, and he's a brat. He's a brat prince. He rejects authority and rejects all that culture of vampire society, quote unquote, that he has known and that he has seen, and he knew all of this, but I don't think he did enough to really share with them the truth of why they're in so much danger, right? He may have said it here and there, but the fault is on Lestat because he was their maker. He allowed them to be made, and he should have let them know about the dangers. That probably would have prevented Claudia from wanting to go off into the world and building up resentment against Lestat because she felt like he was holding them back as opposed to protecting them.
Children
Right.
don't always listen to their parents.
What'd you say earlier?
I said children do not always listen to their
And
parents.
that's true.
I feel like she would have probably rebelled regardless. And remember, she was pretty much driving the boat because Louis left the reservation. So she was the adult in the
In his
situation.
mind.
He always that lady.
All right, so Naya says Louis literally kissed Armand to shut him up and then told him that he wanted him to be there. And if he wasn't there, he still was going to do it anyway. What are your thoughts about that, Barrowman?
That's that control. Like you like it until you don't like it. It'd be like, what? I said no, and now you want me to watch you do some dumb shit?
He a crash dummy.
Yeah, you crash dummy. He keeps slamming himself into the wall.
And then wonder why it hurt.
Why does it hurt?
Oh,
Bam. Oh,
that's
why does
Louis.
it hurt?
Save me, Armand.
Bam.
Because he's like, he want to be like, I'm telling y'all, that man walking like got a third leg around that thing. I'm telling you.
That's because he's
Who?
crazy. Ones always do.
Who you talking about?
That's why I know
Ain't
he's
that the
crazy.
truth?
Hold up, Bearman. Who got a third leg?
Louis probably got that third leg. He holding something. He holding. He got
You know what I think it is?
Why are y'all tripping off this man like this? He ain't just pretty. Hey, you
I
saw
think
how I curled up.
I think it's a combination of things. I think it's that. I think it's also the dangerous aspect, or they look at him as being something unique, right? You know, they're looking at him as an object in a way, right? But he also has that unknown factor, right? I mean, he's a switch. He like it all. He do it all. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, he
Okay.
does.
Okay.
You know what, Barry? I mean, not Barry. I almost called. Hell yeah, I almost called you my name.
So books, Gers, and Purrs said, "Oh, hold up, wait a minute. This is somebody just put in a comment, so that's why that happened. Yeah, I'm shocked. Louis agreed to Lestat's account of things in relation to Claudia being made. All right. So Naya also says, I went back to season 1. Lestat was absolutely telling the truth. You can hear that same dialogue as Claudia runs up the steps, and then there's a huge pause before Lestat starts attacking Louis. Thank you, Naya. Even when I was watching it last season, I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? What is happening? I don't know if I mentioned it on one of our previous, because I wanted to know what was happening then, and to hear that, y'all. And by the way, Louis' performance when he was talking about what do you say? I'm gonna take my hand and
Your eyes pop out.
and put it around your scrawny little neck until your eyes pop out. Then I'm gonna take this big butcher knife and cut your head and drag it all the way to Audubon Park and feed it to the lions. I was like, and then I'm gonna laugh.
He lost his goddamn brother.
He had. I'm telling you.
Fight for his life in that room. We don't know.
Monologue perfectly, by the way. You did it perfect.
Right.
I ain't gonna leave much line to you. I might have to drop.
Right. That's a lot of crazy. I really believe that Lestat was not lying about a lot of what he was saying. I really think, to a certain extent, that is how it happened. I really believe that.
He's a villain. He's a villain, so it's easy to believe that he's lying or whatever.
Right.
No.
But in this instance, I think he's telling the truth.
Villains don't start off that way. I'm telling you, Louis pushed him.
I also don't think Lestat's a villain. I'm one of those people that don't feel like Lestat's a villain.
I'm okay with him being a villain.
I am too.
I need him to be a villain.
I love villains.
Why? Wait. Why do you need him to be a villain?
Because it's sexy. It's sexy.
You like darkness and people.
Oh, Lordy.
Wait, like that darkness. Did y'all notice when Claudia told them from your French wife? Do y'all remember when Claudia told them, or when she responded to her, she had a defect?
She said, I didn't even know. Or you could have told me something like that.
You could tell that was some real Black people shit. Damn, you could have told me I had a defect.
The fact that let's start referring to her as crippled.
She was like, God damn, you could have told me that. Almost like I wouldn't have been tripping if I'd have known I'm crazy. Y'all just gonna let me be born and then don't tell me I'm crazy?
So
I probably would have kept those souvenirs.
What's the most shocking moment or the part of the story so far up to this point in this episode that really has you excited about where the story is going? Like, what do you think is the most exciting piece of the story so far?
I've read too much.
Right.
For me, it's just the fact that we get a third season.
Right. I was scared we weren't gonna get a third season too.
Yeah.
An actual apology from Lestat that seems authentic.
That was nice.
That was shocking.
That was nice.
And him pretty much putting Santiago in his place in front of everybody repeatedly.
hold up, y'all. And right now we're just going we going in circles, and that's okay. But y'all remember that one scene when Lestat was talking, but the camera was on Claudia, and she was looking up like this. She was going back and forth. She started laughing. Didn't it remind you of The Color Purple?
It's Sophia from The Color Purple. Sitting in that jail. Sitting in that jail.
But the thing is, when black women go crazy,
Yeah.
they do start rocking.
Yep.
I don't know if you've been around too many of them. When they about to start popping on, when the person starts telling you, all right, stop talking to them.
Yep. Walk away. Walk away. Oh yeah. So Debbie Mitchell says Santiago was jealous of Louis because Armand wanted Louis. What are your thoughts about that? Basically, what I hear Debbie saying is that Santiago wanted Armand. What are your thoughts about that?
I agree.
I was about to say, I heard Erica saying something. It's a multitude of things. Santiago is jealous about that Armand is the coven leader, his strength. Louis gets to be disrespectful. Y'all done brought this abomination in here, and now I gotta pretend like I like her. And so it was a bunch of things with Santiago to where he was acting like a straight up bitch.
Bearer of Men, Naya. This is going to be interesting. So she says, I also feel like Santiago doesn't like working under a person of color. The way he was fangirling over Lestat was a lot. Your thoughts?
Honey, that is a good ass point. Because what people not talking about is France wasn't all that accepting. Not and dare I say still isn't. All that accepting of people of color. You know how they handle their Muslim population.
The Moors, right? They call the Moors?
The Muslim population.
Oh, you mean today? Okay, gotcha.
And then we know that they are some of the creators of those despicable pins. Those like blackface pins and pendants and statues that kind of ridicule and make black people look like monkeys. They love those. And they were made like for centuries. They weren't always friends with the African Americans. So I think that was a great point, Naya.
I agree. I think there's a hidden, they don't really touch on it, but there is a layer of that in Santiago or just in general, because there has been a switch in the characters from them being white to being African American. These are characters of Claudia and Louis. I feel as though enough has not been paid attention to that in the show.
I agree. I think the writers need to lean into that more.
They need to lean into it if they're going to. Well, at this point, since they've already, I think that was a miss. They could have leaned into that a little bit more. They did a little bit more in New Orleans, but since they're in the other side of the world, they were kind of trying to make it seem like, that things were different. Well, let's be honest, it really wasn't that.
It was an overtone in New Orleans.
And it was. And maybe we recognize it because that's our part of the world and we understand it and we live it. But I think that it would have behooved them, right, to kind of continue that thread a little bit more.
So Books, Girls, and Purrs has something very, very interesting. And I want to direct this specifically to Elia and to Corey. First to Elia. So they say, yeah, but Armand and Louis are each other's red flags. Louis, a former pimp, Armand, a former prostitute. What are your thoughts about that?
That's diabolical.
Is it diabolical?
No.
That was a read.
I love the way that you connected those puzzle pieces. Yes. Y'all are a horrible match for each other, but how appropriate that a pimp found his hoe and a hoe found the pimp. How appropriate.
And do each other wrong and love each other and still together.
We shall see. Corey?
So I think that this is actually correct, but you also see that they are very toxic, right? They're very toxic for each other for obvious reasons. Because Louis, he has that New Orleans in him, right? He has that side of him, and he can switch in a minute, right? But he's trying to kind of not be that anymore, right? And then Armand has his issues with being used and being abused and things like that. And so you really see those two pieces kind of fight each other, which really is the reason why, I don't really like them two together, honestly.
So, Bearer of Men, Debbie Mitchell says Lestat was not himself at the trial. He seems very weak and confused because if Lestat was at full strength, he could have freezed everyone and walked out with everyone. What are your thoughts?
Again, I think that I agree. I think that he was so ready and he started grandstanding and telling his side of the story. But in the middle of telling the story, he kept making sure people understood that he loved food.
Right.
Like, y'all
Right.
call it what you want, but I love him. I still love him. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I broke you because I
Do
love
you,
you.
do you think there was some part of him that loved Claudia as well? Because he, at the very least, he said, let her have her, what was it, her wish or whatever it was?
Yeah, her request.
Her request. Yeah. What are your thoughts about that?
I think that he was pissed because, I mean, let's talk about it. She tried to kill him. And that's hard to let go of. But there's no way, even if that was, that was your fledgling. You broke the law to give vampire law to give Louis what he wanted. And y'all were happy for some time. It just wasn't that much time in vampire world because you was already 100 some years old. But y'all loved on each other and were a family for a long time. You protected her. You went out, you found her bodies, you burned them. You knew she was gonna go crazy. You knew she was crazy. You knew what she was going through. You knew it was a mistake, but you cared for her anyway. Now, when it came in between his love for him and Louis, well, that's a goddamn problem because the only reason why you here is because of Louis. So I can
And that
understand.
led to their downfall, right? His
Exactly.
downfall, really, because then Claudia started to poison Louis against Lestat.
Yeah. And so like that, and I can understand if you the reason for all of this, and somebody got the mitigated gall to turn against you, well, whatever. I think he was genuinely hurt when she died.
I don't know that I would say he loved her per se as much as he was connected to her since he made her. To me, it's more of a connection than love. So I
You
think
know,
there's some
love is
type of affection.
dysfunctional.
Huh?
You know, love can be dysfunctional.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with that. But I don't know if he outright loved her because he was manipulated into making her in the first place. He never wanted
Mhm.
that. So I wouldn't say he didn't have any affection for her, but I don't know if I have to say love. But I
Yes,
do
I'm
agree love can't
Brown.
So, Onyx Crown says the mystifying energy of a switch. Corey, your thoughts
So
quickly.
we really didn't think that he was a switch until we saw the dichotomy in this episode. So to see that, I mean, yeah, Louis can play both sides, and it's obvious that he does. And even in the present day, you can see his mind, his confusion, really kind of mystifying the whole situation to where people are really they don't know what's going on. They don't know what to believe. They don't know who to believe. They don't know what's going on. What's up or down.
Because in season one, you're feeling real sorry for Louis.
You
And then you keep
do.
watching and you like, Louis.
Mm.
But it
Yes.
makes you understand why the Talamasca told Daniel,
You need to be
Louis
afraid of the other one.
need to be
Right.
afraid
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
because he's the one.
Bear of Men, Louis is absolutely a victim, but he likes to play of being the victim. The way he took out the fact that he stood up and protected his daughter, I don't understand that. What are your thoughts?
The way he took out the fact that he stood up and protected his daughter. What does that mean?
So I disagree with you, now. I think I don't know if Louis is as much as a victim as he is a martyr.
He's a martyr
What for? What cause?
Um, just in general, right?
himself.
I
His
think
point of
that
view.
yes, I think that Louis he has had some horrible things that have happened to him, but I think that he does use that, and he is the cause that he's martyring for really is, I was wronged, or these are the
Believe
things that
me.
have, yes, believe me. I think I I don't really know, Louis. I
I
don't
call
really
him
know.
I agree
he
with her.
done swam in the ocean to go over there to Lestat after he cheated on him. You ain't no victim, you're crazy.
He's not
Hold
a
on.
victim.
The
He's not a
the two of
victim.
you were talking over each other. Let's quickly go to Elia and then quickly go to Bearer of Men. So quickly, Elia, what did you say?
I'm sorry, Corey. I was rambling on about how Louis is not a victim because anytime he swam over there to be with Lestat after he cheated on him, you choosing his toxicity. You are absolutely not a victim. You choosing this.
Mhm.
Bear of men, quickly.
I don't know if Louis. I don't agree that Louis is a victim as much as I believe that he internalized victim mentality and martyrdom.
Well stated.
I just think he is sold on his forgetful way that he sees things, and he just can't believe he's wrong in all of this. And he wants his story heard so bad, but as he's telling it, he realized he don't really know who he is or what he done done.
Mm-hmm. So Onyx Crown says Jacob killed that part in the fight, and then the stink meaner line. I've never heard that term.
That's
What you gonna do? What you gonna do about it?
that's right.
Huh?
That's
What you
right.
gonna do?
What you
Corey,
do?
Mm,
did he do well in that performance?
of course.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. I
Okay.
totally agree.
Okay. So Pamela Boyley says, remember that Lestat's fiance finance. Lestat has financed the coven since forever. So that's also why they placed the long games. They played the long games, excuse me, with Louis and Claudia. What are your thoughts about that?
Hmm, good point.
Awesome point, actually.
I didn't even think about how
You
they
know,
had.
they had this picture on the wall. That's true. They worship Lestat.
They
They
do.
did. They did. So
They do.
nothing he would have said would have really saved them. They were
No.
going to die.
Because he confessed to his crimes and they were like, oh, well, we're not worried about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They were going
You
to
ain't
die.
on trial.
They were going to die.
So Onyx Crown is responding to Debbie Mitchell. True, you can see him swaying like a zombie when Claudia and Madeline are executed. I think Onyx is talking about Lestat. Naya also says Lestat was telling the truth when he said Louis was his chaperone and tour guide. I forgot that they were friends and that Louis actually upgraded his wardrobe to that century. Um, yeah. Okay. Naya also says Lestat continues to compliment Claudia throughout the trial, which surprised me. He said he saw the best of himself in her. That was something that I wanted to talk about. What were your thoughts about that? What were your thoughts about that?
I
That's
think
why I
it's a
thought
little
he
bit
loved.
too little, too late. Honestly,
I'm
That's
glad.
why I thought he loved her. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Paramin?
I was just saying that's why I felt like he loved her. It don't have to be a functional love. It doesn't have to look how everybody thinks love looks.
Oh, we see his love is real dysfunctional with Louis, so he can love. It is toe up.
Man, drop your ass from 50 million feet in the air and watch you turn into puzzle pieces broken
And
up.
then buy your car.
I'm come on, he did. Come on, man. He tried it. He really tried it.
Onyx, Onyx Crown, this is funny. Louis does call him Aaron when he's the Dom. It definitely plays out. Love it. So Naya says Lestat being on that stage felt like a manic episode. Ooh, I'm interested in hearing what you think about that. Just give us a little bit more, Naya. Let's go to the next comment, also from Naya. I think Lestat was jealous of Claudia because she was a better version of him. Ooh, it brings me back to the conversation Lestat had at the dinner table with Louis' family. Ooh, I'm also interested in that. What are your thoughts about that? Let's go to Elia. What are your thoughts about what Naya just said?
So typically when you have a child, you want your child to be the better version of you. Even though this is not the child that he wanted. I don't disagree that she's absolutely a sharper version of him, her wits, everything. So when he was at that dinner table with Louis' family, Lestat didn't seem like he was good enough.
right.
Didn't seem like he was good enough at all. Very inadequate to the point to where he kind of spazzed out on him. So good point, Naya.
Very.
Okay. So Debbie Mitchell says Lestat was willing to die for making Claudia. He was ready to go with Louis. He did love her, and he thinks of her a lot throughout the books. Yes, he does.
I think that's in hindsight, though. I think that is the aftermath and the privilege of being an immortal, right? In the moment, you think one way, but after a few hundred years, you kind of look back and you can say, "Oh, okay."
That's fair. That's a fair
Yeah.
comment.
I like the way Corey turned it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
So Naya says, why did Louis take out the fact that he protected Claudia after she was choked out by Lestat? He wasn't just beat up; they were fighting each other.
Mm. He did choke her out, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And he only started fighting him to protect her.
Correct.
That's also the part where we see where Claudia had kind of started to, prior to that, had kind of started to kind of
Come
be
back.
an enmity between the two of them, and after that, that's really when their relationship kind of soured.
Did y'all realize she was gone for 7 years?
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was
They
long.
mentioned it.
They
I
did.
didn't believe it was 7.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Honest Crown also says Louis is one of those kind of mothers when it comes to his men.
One of those kind of mothers.
I don't catch that reference, Corey. What?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure either. Explain, Onyx.
Okay, so Debbie Mitchell says, who do you think is buying the painting? They are putting a lot of emphasis on it. I believe Lestat is on his way to 2024. I think he is the buyer and hiding behind a go-between.
Oh, Debbie. Give
That's
me
good,
something to
Debbie.
look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
That's
with
good.
Daniel still sitting in the house.
I look forward to, in this last episode, to see how they're going to tie up this season. And they always do some sort of kind of look forward to the next season. And I wonder if they kind of thought through that. So I'm curious to see how they're going to introduce or kind of get us prepared for the season 3. Or is that going to happen in the Talamasca or one of the other shows?
If you come to 2024, FaceTime me, Lestat.
This is what I'm going to say. And this is my opinion. Episode 1 was kind of like down here, right?
Mhm.
Episode 2 went up. Episode 3 went up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 better be nothing in my pants. I need to be nothing in my pants.
Because they've been edging us the entire season, right? They've been edging us the entire season.
I'm just saying. All right. Books, Gers and Purr says it was bittersweet that Lestat acknowledges Claudia like that, but I agree. Too little, too late. He should have loved up on her more instead of being cold. Naya says.
And that he may have not been in a situation. They may not have been in that situation had that step been taken.
But we know Lestat doesn't know how to love.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah,
He has
that's part
no
of the
experience.
That's
Right.
why I said, as dysfunctional as it may have been, that's all he knew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why wouldn't you be appreciative that I saved your life and you still like breathing and shit? You know what I'm saying? You gonna disrespect like that?
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. God, oh.
So Naya says Lestat talked about how he ran away to get an education only to be dragged back home by his father and beaten. Lestat literally does the same thing with Claudia. Generational trauma.
That came up again. I feel like we talked about this last episode.
We have. We talked.
Yeah, we talked, and we also talked about it in season 1. Yeah. So Naya went back and she actually watched a lot of our season 1 because she was commenting.
Oh, she
That's not
did?
no. Oh yeah.
Oh, you cut up last season.
So Honest Crown said just what Claudia told him about getting stupid when it comes to men and leaving girl to tend to herself.
Because Claudia definitely was like, "Oh, I forgot. It's because you're stupid."
Right, and then she referenced their relationship. You're stupid around each other. Yeah. But yet they can't live without each other. Louis and his men.
Notice how she kept turning around and telling him, and look at him again.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I was like, boy, Claudia was gonna let them know all the way out the door.
He does have his father's temper.
Now I haven't read the book.
She says she hasn't though.
No.
I don't know about that. Yo, okay, so I had like this whole thing. I had a whole lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I feel like we've covered a lot. Is there anything else that you all wanted to talk about? We still have some comments coming, but is there anything else that you all wanted to talk about that we can talk about right now?
Let's talk about in the last few minutes. What do we hope to see in this last episode?
I want to see.
Thank you, Onyx Crown. Thank you.
I want to see Louis kill everybody for killing Claudia. I want to see why they say Louis is the one Daniel need to be worried about. Because they sent Daniel the picture of the theater. So now I want to see how he rage out, and I hope he do it justice. Come on, actor, show me something.
I agree with you there. I kind of want to see that too.
Did y'all see that moment in the preview where Louis is holding a fireball in his hand?
Fireball. Yes.
Where was all of this?
I said, when he learn how to do that?
Armand taught him something.
Somebody taught him something.
Nights.
That's what giving them back shots and sipping on blood do for you.
That's not the back shots. Okay.
Bungles.
I'm not gonna be the same after that comment. I'm not gonna be the same. If only we all could get power from back shots.
I wish.
You know what? I never thought about it like that, Naya. The fact that, for all intents and purposes, they got married in a church at the altar. Never thought about it like that.
In blood.
Vodka says not the back shots.
Overness. I'm over. Overness. Overness.
Ooh, a possible setup for Claudia haunting Lestat. Ooh, I love that idea.
That is a good idea.
She did
It's
so
a way
great.
to kind of keep her in the story
Yeah.
a little bit longer.
It would be a disservice if they don't find a way to kind of weave her into this next season, because she did an amazing job.
Awesome.
I love her. My heart was broken when they killed her on the movie. And mentioning the movie, remember
Even more so when they killed her in this series.
Hell yeah.
Kirsten Dunst, I was like, whatever. But her, I was like,
You ain't lying,
They
honest.
did beautifully, though.
I
They
did
did.
say that. I said I do.
Going back to that moment when Louis did this.
Louis was a
Dying
mess.
and shit. He out here dying and shit.
Louis
Trembling.
was a mess. I will say that they have captured the miserableness of Louis fantastically. In
I
this.
don't want to see no more
He
of
is
it.
miserable. He shows his misery. He revels in it. He lays down in that thing. I mean, they really.
Heavenly, are you giving us some information ahead of time? What?
He burned Daniel.
Now, you know, if I see somebody with the name Heavenly Gains, I automatically think married to medicine. So,
Hey, somebody's alter ego. Hey.
Lady did so well, yeah.
She did, Onyx.
I knew what was gonna happen too. I really was sad.
Oh well, see that, but that's the future, though, right? That's really like 2024. He has the fire gift or whatever, but all the way back 100 years ago, like we didn't know that he had that gift 100 years ago.
I also want to see what they're gonna do with Daniel's character, like in the next iteration, and I also would like to see him in the Talamasca stories.
You want to see what's gonna happen with Daniel in the Talamasca stories?
Give
him some heart. Give him some heart.
If he should be in it, I would love to see that. I would love to see him in it.
It doesn't do it anymore.
It just did. Look at
it. That's so silly.
It did it.
To Honest Crown, Louis was literally crying and nodding like he wasn't just beat up on stage. Lestat was in a trance as he talked about their kiss. Yeah,
he was tripped out.
Yeah,
you know, he was transcended back to that moment. And if I was Armand, I would have dove out that audience and slept the piss out of both of them. Y'all not gonna disrespect me.
I wonder if Louis is gonna find out that Lestat was telling Armand that he loved him back in San Francisco, and is that going to play into this final episode? Because we know they break up, right?
So yeah. I don't know. Break that down a little bit for me, Corey. It was so many names. I was trying to keep up. What?
So remember a couple episodes back when Louis was burned and Armand, that was when Armand at first was communicating with Lestat. He had been communicating with Lestat. That's the first time we saw that he knew, and he was telling him, tell him I love him, and he didn't say anything. I wonder if that's going to come out in some sort of way in the present day, and is that going to lead to them breaking up? Because they don't stay together.
Maybe if that's how they break up, they need to break up. Because I would have told them shit neither. I ain't telling my man.
Of course. I mean, of course not.
Yeah, I'm leaving you because you got my daughter killed.
Yeah,
he should have been gone. To be honest with you,
that's exactly what I thought, Vodka. That is exactly what I thought. Despite all the pain that we've been through, I am about to die. I am your daughter. I need you.
And I think that's what he was. I think Lestat in that moment he had regret at that point. I think I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. So Onyx Crown says to Naya, right / angles. All right. Debbie also says Daniel will still be doing his, I believe, his interviewing maybe. Okay. Vodka says, I hope Daniel interviews Lestat for his story. I need them reading each other to filth. So clearly Daniel is going to be in the next season, but the way that, at least the way that I read the book about Lestat was that when he was writing his story, when he was writing his music, that was kind of like his interview, if you will. That was just the way that I understood it. If someone knows different or better or the truth, please let us know. So Heavenly Gains says, no, see the follow-up, type too fast. He burned Daniel's tape season. Gotcha. Dr. Heavenly, you're less messy, but you watch the show. You watch the show though. Okay.
We see you, Heavenly Gains.
Let's start with them zip from back to front and read that clown.
I see you, Debbie.
Naya, yeah, Armand erases that memory because he doesn't want Louis to know that he's alive. That was the whole point of the interview. In the past, Louis wanted was that to chase after him.
Listen, I'm not Naya. I feel you, but if I was Armand and it's some ex that I don't want to talk about no more, and this man already suicidal, and I'm with him. Baby, you tell me to erase your memory. I'm gonna add some more shit. I'm gonna erase to that list.
So Onyx Crown says he was developing his fire gift when he kept having to blow out the candle, right? But it was like just a candle, though, right? Didn't he say it happens when he gets pissed? That is true. That is true. I remember even commenting about that. You're right, Onyx. You're right.
I don't remember in the book if he had the fire grip. I don't remember much about Louis because he's never been my favorite character. So
I don't remember that at all. In fact, as I said in the books said that Louis was among the weakest of all of Lestat's fledglings.
Yes,
he was among the weakest.
Part of that is because he also chose not to drink blood, and he didn't.
Like a clown.
He might want to have that fire gift to continue to burn bridges.
Onyx, this one is clear. The death of Claudia.
Oh yeah, it's definitely.
Oh yeah, that's even from the movie. He loses his shit. He even drinks blood after that. He don't give a fuck about nothing after that no more.
I think for a good period of time, and then Louis kind of goes into a deeper state of melancholy, and I don't remember what pulls him out of it and what happens. Again, like I said, Louis is not my favorite character in the Chronicles, but.
I wish there would have been another interview with the vampire.
What'd you say?
I wish there would have been another interview with the vampire movie. Maybe they can make that out of the show.
Pamela. Oh my goodness. I really got to start reading these books. She says that Louis is a pyromaniac in the books and he burns everything down.
Maybe that's how Claudia got caught in the house with the fire.
Yes, maybe so. I need to go back to the books too, because obviously I'm gonna start with interview though. I'm gonna start with the Vampire Lestat again.
Now, I don't know if Louis really wants Lestat. I think he's at a place where okay, he recognizes that Lestat is his maker and there's a connection, but I don't think he wants to be with Lestat, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Does
What-
anyone remember that's listening? Does anyone remember who the characters actually end up with in the end? Like in the final
In the
books?
books, I'd like to know.
I don't remember.
So Debbie says, I wonder what Louis is doing when Armand screams Louis. Louis in the books goes around burning stuff. Okay, all right. Naya says, Dreamless Dot in present day Dubai is crazy. Armand can't win. He is still fantasizing about his ex after all these years, shaking my head. Vodka says,
Hello,
the,
Ivy.
the mid-season trailer showed the Dubai apartment falling apart. I didn't see that. Did y'all see that?
I did not see that.
What do you guys think is the
That's
twist that gets 2024 Louis and Armand fighting?
There's some sort of revelation. There's something that's gonna be said, or some memory that Louis is going to unlock, and that is going to lead to them fighting, which will
I don't
probably
think
lead
Armand
to.
ever put his hands on. I don't think he and Armand ever put their hands on each other.
Y'all, Antonio just said something.
Do it.
Mm,
Okay, I haven't read the last one. The last one? Which one is it? Blood, not Blood and Gold, but
All right,
what's the last Anne Rice book? Well, towards the end, she started doing a lot about angels and demons, but I don't remember the last Vampire Chronicles book. Honestly,
I'm dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded. I can't. I
I
can't.
was like, damn.
honestly though, I don't hate that. I
Oh,
like
I was like, why did you say that? I guess we're on YouTube, so you can't say.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Okay, gotcha.
You ain't got to answer yet.
Well, yeah, they end up together. All right. So books, girls, and Paris said, yeah, that's that. Yeah, Lord Jesus.
Oh wow, really?
Books. Which book was it?
Oh, what's the name of the book? What's the name of the book?
Yeah.
Okay, it was a small shot.
In the books, Armand and Daniel get together, but after Armand drives the man literally insane. Yes, yeah, that's what I've been hinting at. I've been hinting at this for the past 2 seasons.
And Daniel actually he's
Daniel
actually
is there?
turned into a vampire, I believe. I believe Daniel's turned. At some
Armand
point.
drives Daniel insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why?
And then he like goes in this whole little yeah. I think Daniel gets turned, or the version of Daniel in the books, I believe, gets turned.
Mm.
Like everybody gets turned in the books, like for the most part, like because it's about the vampires and their relationships with each other. So I'm curious about how this went.
look, I'm so.
You hanging out with
Ooh.
vampires? You might want to be one.
Yo, I don't know about y'all, but I've learned so much. I've laughed so much,
I agree.
but y'all just took me out, and I can't. I gotta go sit and think about a few things.
Absolutely.
What about Louis and Lestat getting married?
Oh, well,
Y'all see?
damn.
Oh yes.
I told you Armand was
what
a
kind of
villain.
misery
So
shit?
in the books, Armand he's a twink, but he's also a little bit crazy. If I remember correctly, he's a little bit of a sadist. I think he's a little bit mean in the book. I think so.
I remember that.
Oh wow.
To me, Armand remind me of Louis a whole lot.
Mm. So he was never
Oh,
supposed
the
to.
comments are really coming in.
This is looks like Daniel should have never had a. I mean, Armand should have never had a fledgling.
You want the old one? She still wants the old Daniel.
We back to that. Look now.
So
No.
I don't like that
Why
they don't
you
show the change though when they I want them to have the change.
Geriatric freak you.
Yeah, she did. Right, until she did. Like, it really kind of gets a little convoluted in the end, and she introduces the devil and angels, demons, and
So she went crazy with
Well,
the last one.
well, she did that in Memnock the Devil.
yeah,
She does she
It's Antonia.
we talk to the devil. We talk to the devil, and well, not we talk to the devil, but she introduces the devil in Memnock the Devil, and I think that was what the fourth or fifth book, one of them.
it
Something like
was. It was a very interesting book. I didn't finish it, but it was interesting.
You would think that vampires should be able to have a relationship with the devil.
Last book is Blood Communion, but Lestat and Louis are connected throughout the books. All right, so Armand's freak is too deep.
Hello. You get what I'm saying?
So obviously nobody can match his freak.
Obviously, he must be bananas with the kid. You right, Marty? I'm tickle pink.
So Heavenly, are you talking about like when he cuts Claudia's head? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know.
Yeah, he's kind of like Heavenly. I think Armand is a little bit of a sadist, a little bit in the books. I didn't want to read his book, but I may have to go back and look at it.
I want to read them all now. I didn't even ever want to before.
Armand was not one of my favorite characters.
But I don't think it'll mess anything up now that I know that everything's going to be different or a little bit different.
Look, they make me want to live my life the way that they live their life. Just have this one over here and that one over there, and this one over
there. You should look for a third line.
I want a little bit like this. I want a little bit like that. A little bit like this. I'm gonna take you out in public.
I'm just gonna have you on the side right here. You're gonna be in the public.
Keep you chained up at home because you know what? You can't go nowhere.
You wouldn't stay. You stay at the house. You don't leave. Don't work. Don't do nothing. Just stay at the house
and just be ready for me to come home. And then the two of us, we're gonna do this here together.
Just lay down in the casket.
Books Girls and Purse says, "Yeah, I wonder if Louis is going to go off and almost unalive Daniel next episode, and that will prompt Armand to make his very first sledging."
I don't think that would be fair because Louis and Daniel kind of have a bit of a kinship, and I think that would be a disservice to the characters and the connection that they've built together.
Yeah.
So Vodka says in Interview with a Vampire, Louis never saw Claudia die. Armand did. In Armand's book, he admits that before Claudia died, he tried swapping her head with Madeline to see if he could make her an adult crazy. Mm-hmm. Antonio says in the Armand book, we found out before letting her burn, he cut out Claudia's head and tried to attach it to another woman vampire. It doesn't work, so he lets them burn her. Debbie,
who do you think you are, Armand? Who do you think you are?
Like he's trying to make it work. I'm not even defending him. I'm just saying, like,
that is like Frankenstein.
It sounds crazy as hell.
I agree with that, Debbie. I think that's what's going to happen. Like his Parkinson's or something's going to happen, and he's going to ask for the gift, and that's how he's going to get changed. I do think that he's going to be a vampire either at the end of this season or at the end of the Talamasca season. I think you already be a vampire before they get to the third season.
You and this damn Talamasca.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that story.
I am too, but you say that every show. Talamasca.
But they haven't been introduced in the story, and they're a big part of the.
Well, I hope they don't Mayfair you, Corey. I hope they don't.
Ooh, you know how mad I would be, y'all.
So, in Interview with a Vampire, someone please correct me if I'm wrong. The word Talamasca only comes up in one sentence in that book. Talamasca, only one sentence. Mm-hmm. They're expounded upon as she as she goes on, but Talamasca is not that crucial right now.
No, not right now. No.
All right. So Naya also says, can you imagine what Daniel's grandchildren are going to think? Plus, I like it. Daniel can see right through Armand. They can definitely keep each other in check. Books, Gers, and Purrs says, I hope the Talamasca show doesn't get fumbled. Like, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Books, listen, we want more witchery if we're going to watch any part of the second season of Mayfair.
On the last episode of Armand Can Panic and Just Change Daniel for Louis. Daniel is supposed to be a symbol of their love, and he's dying. Maybe he changes him to keep Louis around. Oh.
just like Lestat.
Oh,
That's
That's just like the stat did Claudia.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a really
generational. I love how Raglan was like, "No, Daniel, shouldn't keeping agents alive." That's so true. A dark comedy, yo. Before this gets too long, a lot of you all have comments, but I got other stuff I need to do.
Uh-oh.
yeah. I need to
We're
go and
excited though
okay.
because
Yes.
they're rolling in. Please don't stop.
Don't stop watching. We love it.
Next week.
And tell us what other shows you want us to kind of start, because after
We
a
gotta
few more
start
episodes, interview's gonna be over with. So what else are you guys watching?
And by the way, Naya, please don't stop watching House of the Dragon. Naya's been watching. She's been commenting. You know, Naya. You know,
I just started. It's good. You guys are right.
It's great, Corey.
I'm on episode 1. We gonna see.
Keep going. We're not
Come on, Book.
Doing our job for us.
You know, a couple of y'all, we need to invite y'all for a future show. Maybe we can do that.
And clearly, y'all have already been making love in the comments.
They have.
Yes, and everything.
Okay. I won't. You know, I don't know. Thank you, KB. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we can do power. We can do power. Y'all, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Y'all have a good one.